Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today's video is going to be the next in my Blu-ray collection series. This one is going to be the O's and it's going to be a lot shorter than the last couple. There is only one stack, so I'll try and keep it as short as I can, but I might talk about them a little bit more because there isn't that many to talk about. So yeah, but I'll get started. So first up, is a trilogy of which a 4K release has recently come out. One that I would like to get at some point, but I'm going to wait until it gets cheaper. And that's the Oceans trilogy. One of the many groups of films that I discovered probably during one of the lockdowns on Netflix. I think I discovered these, the Matrix films, the Bourne films, all during one of the lockdowns or recently, I think. Yeah, so but these are great heist films. Some of the best, really. You've got great cast in them as well. The likes of George Clooney, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, um, Casey Affleck, Don Cheadle, Bernie Mac. I'm trying to think of else. Scott Kahn. Um, I'm forgetting people, but it doesn't actually say on the back, and I don't think it says in here. No, does it say? Obviously, Julia Roberts, Andy Garcia, Al Pacino, and Ellen Barkin in the third one. Catherine Zeta-Jones is in the second one. Great ensemble cast. If you like your heist films with comedy in it, definitely give these a go. These three great films, and Ocean's 8, which is in my 4K collection. That's also a good film as well. Next up, you have a Christmas film, Office Christmas Party. Yeah, this one's a lot of fun. As far as Christmas films go, it's one of those sort of raunchy Christmas films, like akin to like a Bad Santa type film. And it does what it's supposed to do. It's funny. It's not that long, just over an hour and a half. Got a good little cast: Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston. Uh, yeah, so that one's definitely worth watching if you've not seen it for this Christmas. Next up, we have Old, an M. Night Shyamalan film, one that I saw at the cinema, and I thought it was okay. I know a lot of people really don't like this one, um, whereas I think a lot of people liked Knock at the Cabin, but I wasn't a huge fan of that one. But this one, I like the premise. Was it executed in the best way? No, kind of veered off towards the end, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. It was an entertaining film, and it was, again, not that long, just under 2 hours, so yeah, that is Old. Next up, we have a great comedy, Old School. Probably, I think it is the first, like Will Ferrell's breakout film. I think it came out, when did it come out? Just before Elf came out, I think. It's about 2003, 2002, I think. You've got Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn. Who else is in it? I'm trying to see. It's Todd Phillips, who obviously did Hangover, Due Date, Joker, obviously War Dogs. Great director. Doesn't actually say who else is in it, which is helpful again. Um, yeah, about a group of adults that decide they want to go back to school, so they end up enrolling in like a college and starting their own fraternity, and crazy things happen. And it's just an hilarious comedy. And if you like your comedies, especially like your early noughties type comedies where they could get away with a lot more than they can now, recommend that one definitely. Next up, we have a classic, My Namesake, Oliver, one that I've not seen for a very long time actually. I don't even think I've watched this Blu-ray, and this is one of the first Blu-rays I got when I started collecting, but for some reason I've not gone back to it, probably because of the length. I mean, it's not that long, it's an hour and a half, but it's one of those films that you've got to be in the mood for if you're going to watch it. Um, yeah, as I say, it's a classic. Most people know of or have seen this. There's been numerous versions over the years, but I think this is the best one. So, yeah, that is Oliver. Next up, we have a fun action film, Olympus Has Fallen. I like the trilogy as a whole. Um, This is probably the strongest. This is probably the best. It obviously came out at the same time as White House Down. Um, Before I would have said I liked White House Down, but now it's been a long time since I saw that. But I did watch this recently and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Jared Butler, Aaron Eckhart, Morgan Freeman, great film. If you like your action films, definitely one to watch. Olympus Has Fallen. Next up, we have One Chance, the is it Paul Potts? Yes, Paul Potts in it. Story, the first Britain's Got Talent winner. Unfortunately, played by James Corden, everybody's favourite Brit. Yeah, this is the only thing, pretty much the only thing that I could watch with him in, and I know it goes the same with a lot of people. I think his issue was the fame when he got to America. I think it really got to his head, and it gave him a big ego. Especially on his talk show. He just thought, from the clips I've seen, he's yeah, not easy to watch, shall we say, and he's not a very good actor. Outside of this and Gavin and Stacey, there's not really anything else I could recommend and say go and watch it, because he's not great, but this is a good film. Julie Walters, Cole Meany as well, plays parents. Yeah, if you like true stories based on music, this is a good one. So yeah, recommend checking that one out. Then we have One Day. They recently did a series of this on Netflix, which was good. Kind of neck and neck for me in terms of the series and the film. I enjoy both of them. I think they're both good. Which one am I more likely to go back to? Well, it's more likely going to be this because of the length, because it's obviously a lot shorter than the series. But I can still see myself going back and watching the series at some point in the future, because as I say, I did enjoy that as well. But this is One Day. Anne Hathaway, obviously set on the same day every year for like, I don't know how many years, 20 sort of years, that sort of thing. And follows these two characters who have a relationship, and it's their ups and their downs, that sort of thing. But yeah, really like it. One Day. Then next up we have One Fine Day. This was George Clooney, Michelle Pfeiffer, and a romantic comedy. And I read somewhere that this was the first film, and the what am I trying to say? The first of all of his films in which he didn't have to audition for it. So I think he only auditioned for From Dusk Till Dawn. From what I read it somewhere or watched it somewhere, and this one was when he started getting offers in, because everybody obviously liked him. So I think he was just offered this. But it's good. It's really good romantic comedy, and it's kind of helped with Pfeiffer and Clooney because they are great actors and they go bounce off of each other really well. That one is probably quite out of print now, though. Just looking at it, and from what I've seen online, I think mine was quite expensive, to be honest, when I got it. Next up, we have a classic, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. One I've only watched for the first time recently, and I think it was last month sometime actually. But it's a fantastic film. Jack Nicholson gives probably, I don't want to say his best performance because he's given so many great performances, but it's definitely one of his best performances. For me, I love As Good As It Gets. I love About Schmidt, which doesn't get talked about a lot, which is the same sort of thing. Obviously, you've got to talk The Departed in kind of his best film conversation. The Shining. In terms of endearment, he's just had so many great performances in films. Chinatown, which was the year before this. Right up until The Bucket List, I would say. I didn't like the last film he was in. I don't know whether that was one of the reasons he chose to retire. But yeah, essential view in this one. I think it's an excellent film. If you're a film lover, definitely source yourself a copy of this and give it a watch. Nearly there, small bit left. Next up, One True Thing. Meryl Streep, William Hurt, Renee Zellweger. American import this one is, but it is region 3. Um, Although it doesn't actually say on the back, but it is region 3 because I have seen it. It's basically about a young woman played by Renée Zellweger who has to go home when her mother falls ill. She has to go home to look after her mother, which she doesn't want to do because she's not had the best relationship with her mother, shall we say. But while she's home, she kind of finds herself, finds what she wants out of life. She has a really close relationship with her father, played by William Hurt, who's just terrific in this. All round great performances and just a great film. Again, if you can get this, it's one worth checking out. Again, this was relatively cheap from eBay, I believe. So, yeah, one true thing. Then, next up, we have Only the Brave. I'm going to use the word harrowing for this. It's quite a harrowing story about the Granite Mountain Hotshots, who were a group of sort of fire troopers, firefighters that went out and took out fires in like the mountain ranges and the forests in like I don't know where it is. I don't know whether it's like Texas or somewhere like that. And it's just about this group and their life and the way that they live and how they fight these fires. And it's a brilliant film. Great biopic. And yeah, if you like your true stories, highly recommend checking this one out. You got Josh Brolin, who kind of leads the team. Miles Teller, who's like a newbie, who is there for his own reasons. And yeah, Jeff Bridges, he's great in it. Jennifer Connelly, who plays Josh Brolin's wife. Andy McDowell plays Jeff Bridges' wife, I think. Yeah, definitely recommend checking this one out. Joseph Kosinski, who obviously did Top Gun, the new Top Gun, and he's got the F1 film out next year. But yeah, Only the Brave. Next up, we have Open Range. Yeah, really good Western. Kevin Costner starring and directing with Robert Duvall and Annette Bening. And you've got Michael Gambon, who plays the like the evil guy in this, the rancher who's trying to get him out of town. Good film. Michael Gambon, great in this, plays a great villain. But yeah, I enjoyed it. For me, in terms of Costner directed films, to be honest, I've only seen 3 now. I've not seen The Postman yet, so I do need to watch that. But I would probably go Dances with Wolves high at the top. Then this would be next down, but quite a bit. And then it would be Horizon. All 3 thoroughly enjoyed, don't get me wrong, but that's just the order I would put it in. I don't think he's directed anything else, but yeah, that's Open Range. Then we have Operation Mincemeat, which is a remake of an old film from like the 50s, I think. This is okay, nothing too special. This isn't one that I would say is a must-watch or is great. It was quite slow. It's still interesting, but it was quite slow. As I say, it's a remake, so it doesn't really show you anything new. But it has got a good cast. Obviously, you've got Colin Firth, Matthew McFadyen, Kelly MacDonald, Penelope Wilton, Johnny Flynn, Jason Isaacs. Johnny Flynn plays Ian Fleming in this, as he's sort of writing the Bond books. Yeah, as it says, it's about Operation Mincemeat. As I say, it's interesting if you like your war films, and still give it a watch, but there are better war films out there. Then we have Orange County, Jack Black, and it's Colin Hanks in it. Yeah, Colin Hanks. Blanked them for some reason. Catherine O'Hara, John Lithgow, Lily Tomlin. Great supporting cast. It's one of those early noughties teen comedies, and it's really good. Does it really well, and it's one that I can definitely recommend. Orange County. A few more left. Next up, The Other Guys. One just a great comedy for me. Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, great pairing. Adam McKay, I will say, of modern comedies, he's probably the best modern comedy director, and I would like to see him do another comedy, because I think, what was his last one? Probably might have been this. Might have done one after this. I can't actually remember, but he's been doing a lot of his dramas recently. So, but nice to see him get back into this, because this is just it makes you laugh so much, just like Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. it's hilarious. Anchorman as well. Oh yeah, he did the second Anchorman after this. But yeah, the other guys. Then we have Our Brand is Crisis with Sandra Bullock, Billy Bob Thornton, and Anthony Mackie. About like a management team that help manage crises, as the title would suggest, and it's all about a presidential candidate that they're representing. And Billy Bob Thornton's representing the other presidential candidate for Bolivia. It's quite funny, it's quite good. I'll watch anything with Sandra Bullock in, and the rest of the cast is good as well. It's not, as I say, anything great, and I've just noticed I didn't know that it's directed by David Gordon Green, who I think when he does these sorts of films, he's a lot better off. But yeah, definitely still one worth a watch, even if it's just on DVD or streaming. But that is Our Brand is Crisis. Then we have Out of Africa, just another classic epic film. Robert Redford, Meryl Streep, great love film. Beautiful cinematography, fantastic soundtrack, just a beautiful story altogether. It is long, but it is highly worth the watch. And it flew by for me. Out of Africa. Two more. Next up we have Out of Sight, one I've not seen for a while, but it's kind of loosely connected to Jackie Brown, which I watched recently. I think the connection is with Michael Keaton's character, who has like a small scene in this. It's about George Clooney's character, who's a criminal who wants to do one last heist. Bit like, same sort of thing as Ocean's 11, also Steven Soderbergh. And Jennifer Lopez plays the FBI marshal who is trying to catch him, but she also falls for him. Yeah, it was a good film from what I remember, one that I should probably watch again, but as you can probably tell from my collection, I'm a huge George Clooney fan. I've seen most of his films now. There's only a very, very small handful, maybe 3 or 4, that I haven't seen. And that's probably mainly because they're just on DVD and I've not bothered buying them on DVD yet. But yeah, that's Out of Sight. Although saying that, I'm pretty sure I've got Solaris on DVD in my case, so I might have to dig that one out. And the last one is The Outsiders, one that everyone kept telling me was a classic. My mum kept saying, oh, it's a great film, it's a classic, it's a classic. And I put it on and I just didn't know what the fuss was all about. I didn't hate it, I just thought it was okay. Just okay. You've got a great cast in this. You've got C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Diane Lane, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise and Leif Garrett. Just a great, great cast. But a lot of this cast is wasted, I would say. Tom Cruise doesn't really do much at all. Patrick Swayze, I can't really remember him doing much in this either. It's more focused on C. Thomas Howell and Ralph Macchio, especially the second half. It's a good film. It's not a bad film. It's one I'd watch again, but it's just not as good as I'd heard people say it was. But yeah, that is The Outsiders. So that is it. That's all the O's. As I said, not too long. The next will be going to the N's, which, just looking for them, roughly about the same, I would say. And then the M's is probably going to be a bit more closer to like the R's and the P's, like the last videos we've had. But yeah, I might record another one of these over this weekend because I'm on holiday. Not this coming week, the week after, so I won't be able to do any then. So I'll just make sure that I've got enough to still my normal schedule. But that is it. Have you got any of these in your collection? Any thoughts on any of these? Any that you've got in your collection under O that you think is missing from my collection? To be honest, it could be because it's in my huge watch pile up there. I mean, just taking a glance, I can see Overboard, which would have featured in there if I'd seen it. But I don't put any films I haven't seen in my collection because I'd lose track otherwise of what I have and haven't seen, and I'd forget. So I like to keep them out of the collection so I can just pick one off easily and know I haven't seen it before. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, turn the notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything, as I say all the time. I go back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment because I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the support on all my videos, especially the recent ones. of which I've given shout outs in my last collection video. Same people, go back to my last video when I did the shout outs. Please, if you don't, I'm sure you probably all do already, check out all of their channels because they all produce great content, better than mine, I would say. A lot more professional than mine, most of them. So yeah, that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.